Aaron, yo,
Hey, what's
what's
going on, Cap? Can you hear
hey?
me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Proper. Yeah, because last time I called you, you were on a live, and my phone was hecka glitchy, right?
Okay.
And you tried to correct me on the pronunciation of Abraham's name, right?
Yeah, because I think you pronouncing it with a V. It sounds like you doing it with a V.
Yeah, that's how we read it from the Torah, like in Hebrew.
That's modern. Yeah, modern Hebrew. Y'all have V's in your language.
Yeah,
Ancient Hebrew didn't have V's. I think V's are new. V's
it's
used
vet,
and
right? So
E's.
it's Aleph and bet, but bet has a second to it, so it can be bet or vet,
Yeah,
right? Based
yeah.
off.
The V came later. The V wasn't in the original. So, and like I said, in your modern Hebrew, y'all have those V's and stuff like that. But we would say Abraham. That's how we would say it. Because
Oh, from
Abraham's name, when it says father, remember his name got changed
yeah.
to Abraham. So the Abba is father. So Abba, just like what is father in your modern Hebrew? What is father?
In the ancient Hebrew, it's of.
No, it's not. There was
Yeah,
no V in ancient Hebrew.
I'm telling you, bro. I
There's
speak
no
it. I'm
no.
telling you, and
You speak
it's been passed
yeah.
down from generation to
Speak.
generation.
I understand that, but you okay? So the Hebrew language, right? At one
Hmm.
time is what they would call was a dead language, meaning it wasn't a commonly spoken language. And then it became resurrected. So every ancient Hebrew, this ain't something that's just synonymous with Hebrew. Ancient languages didn't have all the vowels and consonants that would eventually exist as they start mixing with other cultures. So ancient Hebrew didn't have the E's, the U's, the V. Didn't have that. Now, as over time, whether it be through captivities and the Hebrew language became bastardized, then you would implement different letters and consonants. But initially, that wouldn't be in there. That's all I'm saying.
Hmm. All right.
But what? But you got a question or something like that?
Well, no, yeah, no, because I'm just Abraham. I know that's how like the English pronounce it, right? Because
But you said that
even
y'all say father as Av, right?
of yeah, okay, Abba in the modern, but it'd be of in the ancient, right?
So I'm looking at Hebrew word. Y'all have father as Av right now, or
Well, yeah,
father is
it's,
Abba.
yeah. So of so even
Y'all call it Aramaic. What y'all call Aramaic, we would call ancient Hebrew.
right. So
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 that
that's
so
what
what I'm
that's
saying
what
is
they read in
correct.
the Torah though, because like
But
you
what I'm
understand.
saying, but even when I just did a simple Google search, right? And by the Google search, it says Abba would be ancient. Av is more modern.
Of is more modern.
Yeah, it's saying the Aramaic word for father is Abba. Aramaic
Well,
is
that's
another
strange.
word for ancient Hebrew.
Yeah, let me write that
Um,
down. I'd like to check that out later.
yeah, yeah, look that up.
That's good. I'm not gonna look it up right now. I'm gonna write it down. I'll check it out later because I know you
Mhm.
probably got other people on your show. So you said
Now you may be
we're
looking
saying
at
of
now
is
you may be
modern,
looking
right?
at yeah. Now when you be now what you might be looking at, because again, this was a simple Google search. I'm looking at when I go further, when it goes further down with Abba, it says it doesn't appear in the Old Testament. It appears in the New Testament. I think that's why you're saying that it wasn't the original, correct?
I believe. Like,
I
can you
believe
repeat
that's
that
what you do.
just so I can understand
It's
it? Yeah.
saying that the Abba wasn't mentioned in the Old Testament.
But no, the Av
Yeah,
was.
that's what. So I'm assuming that's what. But that's I'm assuming that's what you're going from.
Yeah, just I just go by the like even me being like a Hebrew, I don't really do the
Mhm,
whole Tanakh. I just do like, really go by the five books of Moses because
mhm.
I was really like one of the last contact and interaction with the Most High and the nation really
So
were.
like when I look at it, and so I pulled up my eastward, and when I look up the eastward, even the eastward is pronouncing it as they're not pronouncing how we would pronounce it. They're pronouncing it as Abra, but there's no va there. And for
Bro.
father, it has Ab, A-B. It doesn't have Av. It has a symbol, and that's what I mean. Like the symbol for the B is what y'all interchange and use for the V. So
For
y'all
the
make the
Avinu,
V,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So y'all make the V and the B interchangeable symbols, right?
Yeah, they're the same letter, but they're
Yeah,
different
same,
vowels.
yeah. No, reason why just I don't confuse my audience. The reason why I'm not saying same letter and same symbol because the symbol is the same, but the pronunciation is different. The pronunciation can be B for you sometimes, and it could be V for you sometimes. For us, we just use the B. We don't use the V.
Right. Okay.
Mhm.
And you guys, when you guys do your when you do your Shabbat, and when
Mhm.
you guys do the Chagim and all that, do you guys do you have a Torah? Do you read
Yeah,
from,
we
or do
read
you
the
guys
Torah.
use
Yeah, we read the Torah. I'm trying to see if
like a textbook or the scroll?
so we actually make a scroll. So when we do the service, if you ever watch the service, we have the scroll in front of us. So we actually make an ancient scroll. It's just like you unfold it, you fold it up, it's a scroll. We make it ourselves. When we're reading from the Torah. So we're actually reading from a book of the Torah. And so we read the Hebrew first, and then we read it in the English second.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so my next question is, as Israelites, um, why do I find that you guys quote the New Testament quite a bit when the
Because we believe in the Old and New Testament. Well, we believe in the way it's like even the term Old and New Testament, it's not really in the how the Israelites will look at it, but we believe in the Old Apocrypha and New Testament. That's what we believe in.
Do you guys believe the New Testament is from the word of God, of Adonai?
Absolutely.
Where does it? But so where in the New Testament does it
The
say
Most
that
High speak.
he gave the New Testament to the nation? Like right when when the nation of Israel got the Torah, like the earth felt it. The nation
What do you mean
witnessed
when
it.
you say the earth felt it? What, I
Is
don't
like
know.
so when they're when they're in the desert, Mount Sinai, and then they're given the Torah.
Yeah,
They're
only the
given
Israelites are getting it.
even what I'm saying when they're given the Ten Commandments. My point is the
That's still
a
only
whole
Israel.
nation witnessed it, right? A whole nation was able to witness
Right.
it,
But
and
the whole nation that was there witnessed Christ.
but giving. So my point is, God gave who the New Testament then?
God gave the children of Israel. When you say God gave the New Testament, you're talking about the records, right? Because what God gave the children of Israel was the law, statutes, commandments. After that, he gave prophets. So do you believe in like Joshua, Judges, Chronicles,
Well,
Kings, Isaiah? Do you believe in that?
as in from as a coming from a divine aspect.
No, as
I'm not. You know what? I've been asking myself that for a minute. I know for a fact the 5 books of Moses are right.
how do you know for a fact the 5 books of Moses are?
The 5 books of Moses are divine. Well, just because in the way the Hebrew letters and the way it it all pans out, there's also numerology to it too, right? And everything
I'm still
almost
trying to wait to see how do you know for a fact.
well, it's because it's been passed down, right? You know the Torah.
Everything's passed down.
You can read a Torah from the Ark from let's say Seattle, Washington, in a synagogue at a temple, and then you can go all the way to Peru, and you can go all the way to
But
Zimbabwe. You
you
can go
can do that
anywhere in
with
the
the
world,
Old and New
and the
Testament.
Torah has never changed. Not a single letter has
Okay,
changed
but the
since
New
it was written
Testament hasn't
originally.
changed either, though.
What's that?
The New Testament hasn't changed. Isaiah
What do you
hasn't
mean?
changed. Isaiah is so accurate. When they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, the book of Isaiah, which was the largest book that they found, was still the same as it is today.
But I thought the New Testament had like the King James version. I thought it changed a whole bunch of times.
So what you're talking about is translations of text, which is different. So like let's say so the New Testament was the New Testament was complete before the first century was over. So let's say 60 some years after Christ died, the New Testament was already in circulation. It was already written. What you're talking about
Written by
is
who?
by the prophet, by Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Paul's letters. They were all completed. John, the book of Revelations, all of that was completed before the first century was over.
And they were prophets. And see, I don't know. For me, after the first temple, this is my personal, you know, but after the first temple, not even the second one, after the first temple was destroyed, it says clearly that in, you know, the Torah that he, you know, the contact between the Most High and the people, it was over. It's finished, right?
Well,
And I
that's
believe, you know, so I'm like
for
my
a time.
personal.
So the fact that the temple falls, of course, for a time, but you can see, like, do you keep the Feast of Hanukkah?
The Feast of Hanukkah.
Yeah, do you keep that?
The Hanukkah is more of a Jewish.
I'm asking if you keep it. I'm just asking if you keep it.
No, I don't.
Okay, no problem. So like,
for the Pesach, right? I'll do
Pesach. So like the reason why I asked about Hanukkah because Passover would still be in Torah. Passover, unleavened bread, Sabbath.
It's one of the 3 major holidays.
Right, 7. I believe it's 7 major holidays.
Shlosh Regalim. It's the three festivals that you're supposed to be in Israel.
All of them are high holy days, though. So when you go to Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, all of those things in there are what we would call high Sabbath. Even the 7-day Sabbath is a high Sabbath. All of them would be so that's what I'm talking about. Hanukkah is not a Sabbath. Hanukkah is just a memorial, so to speak. Just like the Feast of Purim is a memorial. It's not a Sabbath, though. So,
but when you read,
I wouldn't call it Jewish. It's Hebrew. It's Israelites. Those was Jews.
No, that's actually. Can I tell you something? It's funny.
Yeah.
If you look in the Torah in Hebrew and in English, you'll never find the word Jew. Never. No, I promise you. I'll shave my head if you do. All right.
You'll never find the word
Jew. The first time the Jew comes up is actually with Mordecai and Esther, and this is why the Jews say that you must be from the mother's side because Esther became queen. Now the Jews got that power.
Well, the mother's side actually. The mother's side didn't come until after 70 AD, sometime in the 2nd or 3rd century with the mother side. Even when you get up to the time of Christ, it was still the seed of your father. Even Christ is the seed of his father. So when you say Jew by your mother, Esther being a Jew has nothing to do with her having a child. It's just the ethnicity that she was when she got with that heathen king. So that's where
the Jew kind of originated from.
Well, no, because you see Jew in Jeremiah, you see Jew in Zechariah. So in English, you're going to see the word Jew. Okay. In Hebrew, you wouldn't see the word Jew. You would just see the Hebrew word for Jew. But you can go to you can see Jews in 2 Kings. You can see it in 2 Kings. You can see Jews in Ezra. So you can see the word.
Let me check if it's in the Hebrew.
Yeah, in Hebrew, I'll tell you what it'll translate to.
It won't say Jew. It won't say Jew.
No, it's not going to say. Well, of course, it's not going to say
Yehudi.
Jew.
It won't say Yehudi.
Right. It would say Yehudi. Well, actually, I wouldn't pronounce it like that. Yahwadah. I would say Yahwadah. I would say Yahwadah is how we pronounce our Hebrew different than y'all. But that's how y'all would pronounce it. But it is there, so you can't say that it's not there because it is there.
I'm saying in the 5 books, it's always been addressed as Bnei Israel. Like you always say, Vayomer, you realize in the Old Testament why I say it's divine is because most of the openings or most of the sentences begin with God said unto. He's literally marking what he's saying.
Right, but so now here's what happened
in the New Testament.
So that God said what?
Does he like signature every verse saying
as far as what?
As far as Vayomer Avraham, he'll say it'll say in Hebrew. God spoke unto so and so in Deuteronomy or Devarim.
When you get outside
Moses in the beginning
when you get outside the first 5 books, here's what you see in the first 5 books. You see Moses establishing the codified law that the children of Israel will live by as a government because they're going into the land. So as they're going into the land of Israel, this is our governing body. This is our constitution. This is our amendment. This is everything about it. Now, once you get into once you get into Joshua all the way up, you're seeing how we either failed at keeping the laws of God or succeeded at keeping the laws of God. And then you're seeing stories within that. So with the establishment of, even before Genesis, in Genesis, you're seeing how we came to be with Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob.
Right.
Then you got Exodus, us going into Egypt. Then you got us coming out of Egypt. Then you got us traveling. So you got us wandering for 40 years. You got Exodus. You got Leviticus. You got Numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Working,
Right. You got Deuteronomy. Then at the end of Deuteronomy, you got Moses passing away. Joshua taking the helm. Taking the helm, leading us into Israel. Once he gets us into Israel and we get established, now we're utilizing all the laws that God gave us. But that doesn't mean that Israelites' history stopped. It didn't stop at Deuteronomy.
No, it keeps
Isn't
it
it?
going. Yeah, it keeps. I mean,
Yeah, it kept going, right, all the way up unto the New Testament. So you'll read where we fell at keeping the commandments. You'll read where I'll say, so I see you Truth and Telos. You can unmute your mic. You can unmute your mic. I just wanted if you could just stay unmuted because I see you in the chat, but when I called on you before, you didn't say anything. So I can't unmute you because that's your control. So you see the history. So within that history, you'll read Jeremiah 31 and 31, where the Lord said He's gonna make a new testament or new covenant with us because we broke the old one. And then that's where Christ comes in. And so Christ is the mediator of the New Testament for the redemption of those that was under the First Testament.
what? Okay, let's see. But like, what if the? All right. So also, I guess in the Hebrew, in our version, I believe we don't. Jesus isn't mentioned in Hebrew at all in any of our scriptures.
Cap, that's not true.
Where can you read it for me in Hebrew? You know what I mean?
Deuteronomy 18 and 18, when He says, "I will raise up a prophet from among thy brothers."
Elijah.
Who?
Eliyahu Hanavi.
Okay, so now you know
Elijah from the camp of David. Elijah from the camp of David. Well, Eliyahu.
Where does it say Elijah is from the camp of David?
Eliyahu Hanavi HaMashiach ben David. Eliyahu Hanavi, the Mashiach, from the son of, actually not from of David, from the son of David, is what.
Right, but Christ is the son of David, though.
Pardon me?
Christ is the son of David.
Right. For us, it says Elijah, Eliyahu Hanavi. Elijah the prophet is the.
Can I get the chapter and verse that you're referring to?
Yeah, let me get that. Let me see if I can get that real quick.
See if you can get that from me. I've never heard it.
If you want to let them other brothers speak real quick,
I just want to say something real quick about that. That even if you're right, that is referring to Elijah. I mean, do you believe in dual or triple?
Wait, Josh. This is the Captain Tazaryak Cross the Line radio show. You got to at least say, "Can I say something?" You can't. Just
sorry.
This ain't Clubhouse. It's a lot.
Yeah. Do you mind? I just want to clarify something, Cap, if you don't mind.
Go ahead. You can.
And sorry, I don't have the.
And then after you go, after you make that statement, I do have a caller on the line. I want to bring him on. So what I'm gonna do is, I know Ari is looking for that text. I'm gonna let Josh make this response. I'm gonna go to the caller, and then I got a scene Enoch coming after that. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, so I guess
I don't bother.
I guess my quick statement is that even if it is referring to Elijah, there's dual and triple prophecy fulfillment where it could also be a foreshadow of Christ, not simply just Elijah. But that's my comment.
Okay, yeah, I just want to see. Do you have the verse yet, Ari, that you were referring to?
No. I gotta, bro. I'm gonna be honest. My first 17 years were evolved around Torah. It's been a minute since I really got into the scriptures. Watching you, I kind of dived back into it. Right.
Okay.
I mean, so give me a second.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if you got that one, because I've never seen or heard where Elijah was connected to David. Elijah is called a Tishbite, so I haven't seen it. So I'm gonna take this caller, and then we'll see if we come back to you.
Check it out. Make sure you go on crossthelineradio.com right now and sign up. It's the only place you're gonna get the exclusive content.